And we're on.
All right, welcome everybody to session 25 of The Space Between with a recap from last session by Pete.
During our drill, Eva insisted on repairing me, saying it was important to get done before something or other during the drill. But I don't think we can be boarded during drill space. As it turns out, the sword she's making me is done, and I really like it and really appreciate that it's so well made. And leave it to Bo to ask for a present at somebody else's party. When we drilled back to normal space, everyone else had synesthesia again. We really need to work on that. Maybe the credits will be enough to fix up our spike drive this time. As we land on Lohain-Nuda, we receive a message about our arrival being expected and our escort is ready. I suggested to Eva that we should restore TC3 in the Cardi 3 frame to full functionality. Hopefully it will serve as a show of good faith, as well as friendship, not just to TC3 but the others. Everybody is so concerned about appearances that it's odd, but Cherry advised that I should wear something a bit extra, so I put on my hat and tie. Even Eva and Miss Lloyd spruced up. Even Eva! Bo changed his t-shirt, of course. In an unexpected twist, it seems like the car outside is actually waiting for Cherry. The driver seemed to be some kind of butler tailor for her family. He even had clothes that fit me. That's a first ever. I'm also shocked that Bo even accepted a suit from the man as well. The limo had all kinds of nice drinks, and I tried one designed for bots like me, and that packed a kick. I haven't had something like that since the change. Lohain-Nuda is crazy. Grav cars are practically required here, and there's opulence everywhere. There are rich green plants, advanced screens and devices, and crazy architecture. It's just overwhelming. We eventually arrive after getting Boba for Cherry, and Tashi lets us out at the family compound. Cherry seems to have daddy issues if her mom says to be on good behavior.
All right. I think it was well done. Very thorough.
That was such a good
let's see.
session for Robert to have been recapping.
Mhm. Yes, indeed.
Well, thanks.
Um. Oh, hello.
I know.
Hey, sorry, my mom called me and it interrupted my Discord call, so
Okay, got you.
apologies. I'm back.
That's all right. Um, yeah, so we left off with you all approaching Cherry's father, getting ready to the reunion. And I don't think we need to build it up anymore.
Did anyone do the recap already?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Oh man,
You just missed it.
Did you have to step away for it?
I literally my AirPods blew up with my ringtone and my mom was calling, and so I was like, my
Oh,
mom never calls me, so I answered it, but it had already like cut out of Discord, and
uh,
yeah, needless to say, it was not an emergency, so that's fun. Um,
yeah.
anyway,
Oh,
all
sorry
right,
about that.
it's okay.
Well, yeah, Robert just read out his recap as Pete and was very thorough about it. Um, so yeah, I guess we have, just to set the scene again, we've all been chauffeured by Tashi, apparently the family butler, up to their residence, and you were greeted by Cherry's parents, her mother, rushing up to give her a hug and everything, her father waiting in a more reserved fashion by the entrance to their home for you all to approach. Um, and I'm going to have to put these to put these names in a more immediately accessible location for myself here because um, they're a mouthful. Uh, all right, and then yeah, so a lot of you are approaching. Any other info I should know about how you guys are presenting yourselves? Everyone's all gussied up already.
I don't think Pete's very interested in talking unless necessary at this point. This
Okay.
place is weird.
Fair.
As always, Bo has snuck his pistol inside using his assassin ability.
I'm so glad you said that because I was actually I'd forgotten again to mention they would have had you leave weapons behind. Yeah, I
Yeah.
assumed that. Or I should say, it's not surprising that Bo has snuck his in, but my assumption is that everyone else has gone along with that restriction. They do not open or concealed carry on the Nuda as a general rule.
Okay. Are they? Oh, right. No concealed carry. So can't be in backpack stowed either.
Right. Yeah, there's no danger here, and so they make sure to prevent there being any danger there.
What about knives? Like a small advanced.
Not even those.
All right. Makes it easy.
Yeah, yeah, nothing that could be. You know, if it's you know, you could have something small enough that would be used as a tool for some reason, as long as you could justify it. But anything would be considered, improvised.
I'm sure Eva has things in her toolkit that could be used as weapons.
Exactly, yeah, but they're nothing certainly that's designed to be used against a person.
Right.
And they would give a pass for something like a toolkit. All right, so all dressed up, walking up the patio.
And don't forget, Eva just rolled a 12 on presenting herself as captainly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yes, that is true. She is looking the part. Um, so let's see. How how much does Bo know Japanese?
He was pushing his limits, bluffing Cherry.
Okay.
But I guess he's somewhat conversational. I guess having spent time working there. But I imagine if anyone were to veer off into, like particular topics.
Mm-hmm.
You could have him roll for it.
Yeah, that'd probably be a good way for.
Yeah, let's see. Has Bo got connect or some? What skill does he have that might represent his?
I don't have non-shoot skills.
Um,
It is a question I'd like to know for Eva also, by the way.
let's call it a survive check for Bo. With wisdom.
It's probably the way he's interpreted his language learning.
Yeah. As far as Eva's concerned, oh boy, he is dying tonight.
He's like, "Donde está el baño?"
Oh no.
Konnichiwa.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. And Mrs. Roboto.
Mr. El Baño.
Well, that's getting used now at some point tonight.
Como arigato, Mr. El Baño.
Oh no. Oh boy.
Man. That reminds me, Avery, I couldn't watch that TikTok you sent me because I don't have the app, but if you screen capture and send me that, I'll watch it.
Yeah, so with languages, if I'm remembering correctly, and I'm fine with taking this as written, I believe the book has the knowledge or the know skill just conferring like X number of languages that you're familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, if you haven't used up all those yet, yeah, you can certainly add Japanese to the list.
Okay. Well, it's not a 1-for-1 thing. It's 6 languages at level 2.
Right. Yeah, I knew it's scaled.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you've got several, and since considering
You
that
said
we haven't really
knowledge?
had any others, yeah, the
It
no skill.
Pete's at -1 at.
Oh well, looks like Pete knows -1 language.
The sidebar is on page 24 if you're looking for it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
-1
let's see.
means you sometimes struggle with your native language. Yeah, if you want to be an expert at that, you got to at least have no 0.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Is
1
our
to the
chat
power
on?
of -1 is still 1.
It's true.
There it is.
It makes sense that Eva would know Japanese with Lohe no being so technological and her being into tech.
Mhm. Exactly, and it's more or less
Neighbor.
yeah, more or less a neighbor,
Mm-hmm.
sectorally speaking. Yeah, so then a couple of you get, let's see. Oh boy. All right, so I am not going to attempt to pronounce this in Japanese, but for those of you who are curious,
Well, let Dex, if Dex is translating, you can just tell him what's said in English. Like you don't have to share that, is what I'm saying. I think it's
okay,
fair
okay.
to let Dex translate if in character as Eva if he wanted to translate.
I just got your message. You do not have to attempt that in all caps. It's like I figured you probably weren't counting on me to try, relaying that Japanese, because I was like, I know I have some foreign language skill, but not enough to just sight read Japanese, having never attempted it before.
You know
You're fine.
Spanish, right? It's basically the same accent.
Exactly. Just do
Oh
the
my word.
Japanese and the Spanish accent.
It's like Russian frost giants and Jamaican people are really similar.
Hey now, it's uncalled for.
Ben said there was a violence done to me tonight.
If it's the same like Jamaican to Japanese, I'd love to hear Japanese reggae.
Oh no.
Please don't encourage him.
All right. Anyway.
Don't tempt me. All right. So anyhow, yeah, we'll definitely leave Bo to do his best to catch what words he recognizes, while Eva is listening attentively, not having many opportunities to hear a native Japanese speaker. let's see. So it's going to be
She is going to
this.
try so hard to impress them with her Japanese. This is going to go
Okay, nice.
great.
Very cool. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that necessarily warrants a skill check unless you would just want to let
Just for
the
the fun of
dice
it.
decide. Yeah, unless you just feel like letting chance and influence her
Did I
performance.
emphasize the so hard? Let me say that again. She is going to try so hard to impress them.
Are you calling Eva a tryhard?
For this, yes.
So you see the try so hard is the wording that just tantalizes the GM in me.
Mhm.
Say that sounds like there's a chance it might not work.
There is a chance she might go overboard. Yeah, I think there is.
Eva
Um,
Mulligan, the most trying tryhard.
mhm.
But I'll wait until there's actually an opportunity for her to say something. Not, she's not just going to go up to them and start speaking Japanese.
True.
No,
So
it sounds like we're being spoken to or at first.
that is correct. As you all approach, trying to gauge the tone of the situation, uh, Jerry's father breaks the silence first by speaking in Japanese and slightly inclining his upper body towards the group. And both, I guess, both Eva and Cherry understand what he's saying, and Eva can whisper a quick translation to the group if she'd like.
I think she's not going to interrupt just yet.
Okay.
Um.
Seems wise.
Mm-hmm.
And then Cherry is going to respond in kind in Japanese.
Also not attempting that, but it happened.
Yeah,
Been a
and
long day.
right. And after her response, very clearly with respectful body language and uh, giving a slight inclining of her head and upper body towards him as well, um, then a smile breaks out on his face and he holds his arms out for a hug.
Sweet. She will visibly relax and go give him a hug.
He'll,
Take that, daddy issues.
Just wait. Just wait.
If Saoirse
um,
were here, she would just make a point of not all of us being emotionally constipated, but it's fine.
oh goodness. So yeah, um, he gives her a quick hug, smiling, and then inclines himself towards the rest of the group and says, "Welcome, travelers and Cherry's crewmates. My home is your home."
Can Eva pick out where he might be pulling references from, or what kind of like cultural like book databank or cultural databank she can pull from to say something about light and make it sound proper. This is where she tryhards.
Mm, okay, got you. Yeah, it definitely. Um, and Danielle, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming that this is traditional Japanese culture, right?
Yeah, this is a Lohenu Da like specific thing. This
Hmm.
is not
Oh, okay. This
this
is
is
not
not
Japanese.
traditional Japanese. No.
Okay.
Now the
I'll
greeting
need to roll
greeting
spin
her
on it.
father with a bow
Yes.
and that, like, she definitely does show respect to him in what would be traditional in Japanese to show respect with body language. But no,
Hmm.
this whole back and forth, I thought, it's been hundreds of years and they're on their own planet and it's a very mixed culture.
Hmm.
So from what Ben told me,
Yeah.
so I just wanted to
Okay. So you spiced it up a little bit.
I made a unique thing to Lohenuda.
Okay.
I can't read that, Danielle.
No, I just sent you the
Thank you, thank you.
translation.
I see that. I just wanted to
Um,
whine.
calm your TTs. It is coming.
um. Okay, so yeah, I think she would try to respond in kind with the same kind of cultural references to light, and the deference to father that she's seen and she's probably read in a book somewhere, and say something along the lines of, and I'm angling for a no charisma check here. Say something along the lines of how uh, Cherry is the light in our team, and we bring her light. We protect and shelter her light as we travel.
Hmm. Okay.
Now, how do you feel about that no charisma check?
um.
Could
So that,
Cherry assist?
as I say, that's the sort of thing that I honestly feel like is worth, basically giving you a chance to roll just to see if you get something extra, but not necessarily anything negative as a consequence.
I
Um,
absolutely am fine with that.
so yeah, take a skill check just to see how well that uh, how well does it just go over well, or does it go over really well?
Does it sound like she's just reciting, or is she actually sound like she means it? Yeah. Oh, did you want to let Danielle roll to assist? I just clicked.
Nah, you're good.
Okay. Sorry, Danielle.
Also, after they had greeted one another, they had, she and her mother had turned to welcome the crew with her father. So they're not like backs to the crew right now.
Hmm.
Um,
Right, right.
so go ahead, Ben, and like you can carry on. I just wanted to make sure that was clear.
Hmm. Yeah. He raises an eyebrow, his smile growing a slight bit, and
Where's Ethan's meme? Okay.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't wiggle. It only goes up, and then it
do
stays up.
do not eyebrow Cherry's father towards Eva, Ethan.
Resist.
It moves up, and then it is stationary. It does
Well,
not move back down again for several seconds.
if you click off the Discord, you can achieve that.
Okay.
Just time it right.
Oh boy, yeah. I see. He just sent another. that's quite an eyebrow raise. Oh boy.
So anyway,
You guys
he
are
raises an
derailing.
eyebrow.
All right. So, and he responds. So, he responds in Japanese first, complimenting you on your Japanese.
Also, Cherry's face is gonna look gobsmacked because she had no idea that Eva could speak Japanese. She's mentally running through her conversations with Bo to see if she said anything she wouldn't want Eva to hear.
Little life lesson in a moment there for Cherry.
Yep.
Um, and then he'll say again in English for everyone's ears. Um, says, You all have my thanks for protecting the light of my little cherry blossom as you have."
Cherry is gonna audibly groan. Just, ugh, sad.
Hush now. Go in and be seated. We'll have some refreshments and catch up.
Um, uh, all right, here,
And
come
he
on, guys.
gives like a little shooing motion with his fingers.
She's gonna look a little peeved, but she rolls her eyes and goes inside.
I forgot I was on mute, but you should have heard my snickering.
Oh,
I'll imagine it
we're
now.
all very familiar with the sound that you're.
I'm just meaning how often it was, but okay.
Oh yeah, that'll teach you to
Yeah.
mute yourself, Robert.
I know, right?
I think Isbo goes by Cherry's dad. He'll use what Japanese he has to say, "Like your place, pops."
Oh no.
he'll just smile and nod. And continue awaiting everyone to enter, and seeing Sarah Lloyd and Zeke hanging towards the back with TC3. Say, come, everyone. Don't be shy.
See, I learned a thing or two about refinement. Y'all didn't have to be all worried.
Cherry is waiting inside the door and rolls her eyes at Bo.
Say,
She is
so they both would have been
holding.
in earshot of his little nice place pops comment.
Which there's not exactly a Japanese translation for pops, so it's, I guess, equal to him calling him Papa. So
Yeah, I guess it's whatever the most informal word
I,
for father would be.
I mean, there's Oto-chan, but that's equivalent to like daddy. So
I mean, yeah, that's probably
or
that's
did Bo just call him old man?
yeah, I don't know. Danielle, I'll let you interpret that in whatever way whatever way you see fit. Being the one who's spent the most time digging into Japanese recently.
I say roll for it,
Mhm.
and you decide. I guess if it's an odd number, it's old man. If it's even number, it's daddy. How about that?
All right, Ethan, roll your doom.
So what? Just 2d6.
Just one. Yeah, either way is fine.
Too late.
All right, odd number. What did you say, babe? Was an odd number?
I think I said old man.
All right.
I can live with that.
I think that's in this context, that's a success. To the extent that Bo was going to be able to come out well in that. And yeah, so Sarah will also give a small bow and hurry along in, just really thanking him for his hospitality. And um, yeah, I think Yeah, I think then as you all are entering, you catch TC3 greets Cherry's father also in Japanese. And
What a suck up.
I'm not gonna come up on the fly with a similar phrase, but I'll just say that he uses a similarly respectful and Lohinudanian phrase to greet her father, and he also extends in his two little hands an origami frog.
That's cute.
And Cherry's dad bows a little lower and accepts it with two hands and seems incredibly surprised as TC3 goes ahead and clunks along past into the house. Um,
Ethan.
he goes to pull Cherry aside right inside the door and tries to speak with her quietly for a moment.
Oh.
As everyone is finding seats, the inside of their basically condo is pretty lavish. It's very the style is very much modern minimalist, but with some floral decor and patterns here and there, just somewhat subtle. But there is plenty of seating, very comfortable seating to be had, and Tashi is again serving drinks, and there are also some variety of little snacks, basically charcuterie. And again, including an offering that is appealing, that would be appealing to a bot if he were so inclined, or a VI. But Cherry's dad pulls her aside for a moment and he says quietly but intensely to her, "Is this bot the one you mentioned in your message?"
Yes. That's TC3. I still haven't named him. He asked me to name him, and that just seemed like a lot, so we've held off on that. But yeah, that's the guy.
His eyes go wider when she mentions that he asked her to name him. Said, "He's given you a great honor. You should certainly take your time and great care with that honor. Have you heard from anyone important?" He doesn't, as I believe, he does not know exactly who else you reached out to.
Right. Um, I reached out to Mr. Castor about this,
Oh.
and I was hoping Daisuke might have gotten in touch with one of his professors, but I didn't know how quickly. Well, I was just trying to get like word out to the important people who could actually help TC3. So I still had Castor's, contact information from when I interviewed him. So I thought that would be a good Sprout, and why are you giving me that face?
Oh, it's nothing. Well, I hope that he returns your message. We did not
Yeah,
realize you were so highly connected.
well, I mean, I know you don't like the shift that I took with things, but
Hmm.
I kind of wish you still paid attention to it. Then you would have known I interviewed him.
It's not important now, but uh, he leans back, stands up straighter, and says, "Everyone, make yourselves at home. I must excuse myself for a few moments, but I will return shortly." And with a quick hand on Cherry's arm, he nods goodbye to her and excuses himself to his room.
Hmm.
I guess Pete would take a small thing just to be polite, and probably would, if somebody was making small talk, say something complimentary about the house and such.
Yeah, yeah. Cherry's mom is hovering around and trying to make small talk with whoever and be a generally be a good hostess. She looks up from her compad when she hears Pete's compliment and says, "Thank you so much. Yes, we're very well appointed here."
Um, TC3, would you like us to go ahead and um work on your limits, taking off the limits we had put on that chassis while we're here?
I
I'm going
believe
to
you
remove
guys
this.
Yeah,
already
I
did
thought we
that.
did that last session.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
shoot. Okay, well, then never mind. She
yeah, we'll
doesn't
scratch that.
worry about that. She will they could even say that like, we already did that." She'll be like, "Oh, shoot.
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you want to
Eva will be like,
leave it there.
I did that.
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get all my crap together on the ship, and I don't think I paid attention."
It's okay. We thought it was
Yeah,
probably best.
it is quite all right. I understand it is difficult to tell. This frame is quite limited regardless. And
Quite limited, perhaps, TC3, but it's also respect for potential. He would just nod his head respectfully in that.
um, so about this time, Cherry's mother is uh, trying to fuss over TC3 and uh, do her thing, and then on the other side of the condo, a door gets thrown open, and someone comes walking in loudly and can be heard muttering to himself. It sounds like Japanese under his breath. And Cherry's mother says, "Daisuke, dear, we have company." and here it stopped. He says, "Oh." He says, "Is that so?" And he steps around. Sorry, I didn't know we were expecting. And then he sees everyone and is in the process of trying to start making niceties. And then he sees Cherry, breaks out into a big grin. Uh, Says, "Cherry, I was wondering if it might be you." And he rushes over and goes to give her a big hug. And partway through the hug, he starts to try to wrestle her around and
She's gonna
finds
start
something.
fussing at him immediately that he's gonna mess up her hair, and he better not.
Say, he doesn't go for a noogie, but he does like mess with her hair a little bit. Like just gives it a good little tousling.
She is upset, but not more than she is excited to see him. So
um,
she shoves him good naturedly, but like, but
yeah, he'll let himself be shoved back. And he straightens his
it's good to see you too. If you could do that with a little less over enthusiasm next time, maybe my hair would appreciate it.
yeah. Sorry, big sister. Um, he straightens his white little. He's basically wearing like a lab coat and straightens that and
Oh, that
turns
catches Eva's
to
attention.
the rest of to the rest of the room and says, "Welcome everyone. I suppose you're Cherry's crew. Glad you all made it here in one piece."
Of course. I'm Eva Mulligan, Aoibhe, and this
Hmm.
is Bo, Bo, and Pete.
Love the
Bo.
misspelling. Love it.
I think Pete knows that Eva knows how to spell Bo.
Oh, probably.
There's that was probably intentional. Well, that was definitely intentional.
um, yeah, he gives a little wave to greet everyone.
Sorry,
So,
and Zeke and TC3 and uh Sarah. Didn't mean to exclude you, Avery. Got distracted by the Bo misspelling.
That's okay. Just thought maybe
yeah.
I wasn't here.
Nope. As far as I know, you are.
Yeah, it's well, it's very good to meet all of you. Haven't had this many guests in a while, have we, Mama? And says, "No, dear. Now run along. Sure you have something important to do." And
Mm.
says, "Oh no,
Cherry
not really."
will
And just goes and plops back in a chair, puts his feet up. Says, "Tashi, anything good?" And uh, Tashi laughs and comes over. "Yes, Daisuke. Whatever you'd like." And off, offers him the tray. Acts like he's gonna spill it on him for a second, and just get a reaction.
All right, so after he plops down, Cherry's gonna immediately start digging in her bag and ask him if he still has his tool set up in his room.
Tools.
He he has a slightly confused look. Says, "You're not thinking about going and messing with my workshop, are you,
She'll
Cherry?"
she'll shove her VR headset at him. So like I was doing this really great thing and I was getting to drive a car but with my VR headset, like a real car. It was fantastic.
Oh,
But I did notice there's like a slight glitch in like the upper left-hand corner, um, which was only a problem when I needed to check like my rear view mirror for turns and like, that can be important. But in the moment, it was fine. It was like totally fine.
It was awesome.
But
Hmm.
as
Well,
soon
that's
as Eva pipes in about that, it's like the old Cherry is back, and she like kind of does a little like hair flip, and she's like, "Well, duh."
yeah, makes sense. Let's Yeah, I needed to check something here. Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to go back in chat history and then also get oh, okay. There we go. Sorry. Had too many comments to sift through for the piece I was looking for there. Yeah. Okay, yeah, for sure. I know I was okay. Getting side messages, but yeah, definitely in agreement with that. Okay, so yeah, he definitely seems interested in this whole remote car setup and asks a couple questions that are fairly technical, actually. He's asking them of Cherry, since she's the one who's talking about having gotten to do this. But they, after the first one, it goes right over her head, since it's more about the stuff that Eva did to set it up.
Yeah, she is all too happy to tell him how great it was, and on limited time and resources. The corners that she had to cut in materials and safety measures, of course. She doesn't seem to shy away from the fact that she's cutting corners and safety measures, of course.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, and he seems surprised to have the apparent ship captain be the one detailing all these technical things, and so it's an impressive feat with basically working with scrap, uh, and not even particularly good scrap. It sounds like, um,
The
but
junkyard that we were at it had what it had.
hmm, well, yeah, uh, sure, Cherry, I can take a look at this. He gestures with the VR headset. Yeah, I'll go and see what I can do with it. And he goes to excuse himself.
Could I like, well, could I show my friend your setup?
Show your friend my setup.
Eva's eyes go
I
big.
feel I feel like she could take some inspiration from how you do things,
Hmm. Okay.
as maybe give you some tips on like nerd stuff.
Hmm. I see. Well, he
Sherry's eyes looking at him are like a pleading, like, please save me from the suffocating atmosphere of this living room with our mother, which only a brother would recognize.
All right, so looking into those eyes, what brother could say no? He relents and says, "All right, sure," but he glances down at everyone. He says, "Okay, good. Everyone's shoes are clean. Just you know,
Checking shoes.
uh,
Are we
there's just
still wearing shoes if we're currently inside?
oh wait,
No, we
yeah,
should have
actually
taken
no,
them off at the
yeah,
entrance.
you all did take them off.
Yeah.
Because I made a point of that last time. Thank you for reminding me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you've all taken shoes off. One of you has dirty feet, so um, he nods to himself and says, "Now, I don't usually have visitors in my workshop, so just try not to break anything. Yeah, and
Oh, I am graceful as a swan. Don't even worry about
Cherry, if she's looking at
it.
at Eva from over her brother's shoulder, and she just has a face of like internal panic. Like,
Oh boy. I was gonna say, Bo suddenly looks very like competitive, and he's going to do his best attempt to insert himself in like the technical
Oh
conversation.
no! Add more cherry panic.
beautiful. Yeah, I
the
mean,
question is in English or Japanese?
Oh wow.
Just
well,
kidding.
now
Please
I was
don't.
gonna say from Bros, yeah, say her brother would not start in on Japanese.
No.
Um, but yeah, the let's see, Sarah and TC3 certainly uh, declined the not so open invitation to his workshop, but decided to uh, socialize with Cherry's mother, and anyone else who wants to can follow upstairs to Daisuke's room/workshop.
Cherry would grab a plate and shove it full of her dad's cooking and then follow after them.
Bo is doing his best to talk via our headsets from like the 5 articles he's ever read on that.
Nice.
I think Pete will just stay with TC3 and Sarah.
Okay.
He is not a techie.
Yeah, and yeah, Cherry's mother seems to be she's making a special effort to include and really make TC3 the center of the conversation as much as she can, and trying to asking him all these details about his trip and what it's been like to be trapped in a very basic robot's body, and um, fairly frank conversation as far as what people might typically consider socially acceptable. But, seems to have
Spot
no
the
qualms.
autistic parent. Wee.
Rude.
Sorry, not trying to.
Disrespecting your mother.
Yeah,
That's
goodness.
true.
Um, but yeah, everybody else goes upstairs, and Daisuke opens the door to his room, and just inside the door, reaches over and puts on a small headpiece that just has a screen that comes across one eye, and steps into his room, and it seems mostly It seems mostly empty. It's a larger room than you'd expect for a usual bedroom, even by like these the standards that you've come to expect around here. He's got a neatly made bed and a couple of pieces of furniture off in one corner that seem hardly like they even get used. Everything's immaculate. But in the rest of the room, there are a couple of tables spaced evenly around the middle of the room, and there's also a stand that seems to be holding up a collection that seems like it almost makes up an entire robot chassis of some sort, but a lot of it is taken apart, and he walks over into the center of the room, tosses the VR headset towards one of the tables, and it abruptly stops above the table and begins turning slowly. And he
Eva is
goes
in awe.
over goes over and chair comes up out of the out of the floor, really, and the tabletop unfolds and to show several gleaming tools of some sort that I think Eva and Bo would both recognize as some pre-tech tools. And as he sits down in the basically hovering chair, starts going to work, and a lot of the work is taking tools that sometimes don't even seem to be touching the headset that he's working on, but as pieces are taken off, they levitate away but remain close. And at a couple points, it basically, as he's taking it apart, it's becoming an exploded view of the headset. And once he gets several things taken off, he looks at it and has it the exploded view explodes more, spaces out evenly, so he can get in there at some of the smaller parts of the tools. But yeah, as he works, some of the larger and exterior parts move further and further away to give space, but all along retaining the relative position and distance.
Cherry keeps
And,
side-eyeing Eva.
Oh, don't worry,
Right.
there's a bombshell coming.
I was gonna say, Bo has missed all of this. He was mid getting ready to say something biting and snarky when he saw the robot chassis. And he has been staring at it to the exclusion of everything else.
Yeah, and Daisuke he's glanced over a couple times just to make sure everybody is behaving themselves and to see how it's going. He's comments a little bit to Cherry about the where he's assuming the problem might be, that he's checking in. He seems also, for Eva's benefit, to be talking a little bit out loud about what he's doing. See if she's, see if that's catching her interest or drawing her in.
Oh yeah, she will absolutely be responding to everything. Now the big question I think is, did he hear Eva? I'm doing air quotes here.
Oh.
Whisper.
Whisper.
That's funny.
You gonna roll for him?
No, I think I'd rather have Eva roll. Roll me a sneak. A sneak with. What would you
Let's
use
see.
to represent a whisper? Hmm.
Well, it
I
is
feel
Eva.
like
She's
that's
not good.
wisdom.
She's not good at whispering.
Wisdom.
Yeah, that
'Cause
works
that's
for
like
me.
social cue kind of
Yes.
stuff.
Yes. Good point.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna ask if Bo could roll an opposed notice to see if he catches that.
I think his notice is higher than the
But
roll.
I think he succeeds.
Everybody in the room definitely heard that whisper.
I was gonna say, is it even possible for him to roll below it? I don't think so.
Pete thinks he hears just the intonation of Eva's voice faintly coming from upstairs.
Yeah,
With
there you go.
enhanced hearing. Yeah, it didn't help that this large and pristine workroom is a little echoey, you know. But Dice Cade remains focused, does not react.
Cherry would have, upon her saying that, laughed, like a little awkwardly, like, "Oh, you're so funny, Eva," and then would have steered her over to the robot chassis and been like, "Did you see this?"
Nope. Just realized it posted as Cade.
Yeah.
Aw,
Dang it.
happens to the best of us.
Yeah. I would delete the old one, but that's not something I can do. Thank you.
You're welcome.
To your other question, Ben, yes, Eva is engaging and is quite possibly offering more than he asks, or more than he prompts.
Mm-hmm. She's picking up the cue and running with it.
Less about picking up the cue and just more about just running with it.
Just lore dumping on something she knows about.
Yes, there is somebody here who needs the benefit of her knowledge. She is going to give it to him.
Nice. Yeah, so he seems to take it in stride while he's working, and
I'd say that somewhat shook Bo out of his
His hate zoom.
well, I think like dissociation when he was looking at it and remembering that he'd come up here for the sole purpose of keeping Eva from doing exactly what she did.
Whoops.
And is now doing his best to try to rejoin that conversation.
Yeah, so I imagine Eva's talking about some, some type of, fastener that was used in the headset's construction, and is kind of off on a tangent on it about it. Daisuke asks a couple clarifying questions and points, which maybe it definitely strikes Eva as unusual, because most of the time people just weather the onslaught.
Let me roll and see if she notices it. I think that's fair. Okay. She is even more smitten with Cherry's brother.
Oh no.
I'll retract that. Not quite smitten yet.
Okay, so
But
I've got
getting
more
there.
work to do.
A little bit more work to do, yes.
I will do it. I will flirt with every player in this group at some point.
Bring it.
Oh my word. Yeah, the two GMs dueling to outflirt one another.
Mm. All right, yeah, so that continues, and I don't know if I got to the point of getting to say this, but Ethan Bo's at least got enough knowledge to participate in the conversation. He is mechanically inclined, and some of the things might get a little excessive for his taste, but that's just Eva for you. And yeah, he's certainly not lost. Um. All right, so yeah, the repair continues.
Okay.
Say.
I was gonna say, and yeah, he does manage to keep his focus on that conversation. Although he is still making pretty frequent glances over at the robot chassis.
Mm. Okay.
But yeah, he has or he found an area that's maybe closer to his wheelhouse and being able to talk about the tamper-proof bolts
Mm-hmm.
that had been used on the VR headset.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So then the the mechanic banter goes on for a bit as he finishes up, and yeah,
Cherry actually would have been eyeballing the door, but was afraid to leave anyone alone in Daisuke's workroom setup.
yes, her supervision is very much necessary. Um, he point he ends up pointing out to Cherry that yeah, he did find a couple bent pins on a microprocessor in one part of the board, but
She would kind of groan a little bit and mention that was what happened last time. So
but
Eva
yeah.
blurts out, "Is that from when I threw the survey scanner at you?" I can't remember who the survey scanner or Navcomp. I think it was Navcomp.
was it you throwing it, or was it our entire rig rolling when we were trying to outrace those madmen?
Oh no, it was when we were in the mountains. It was in hang on real quick. It was when we were in the mountains and we went sliding and it flew out of my hands.
You were the one holding that?
Not anymore, I wasn't.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'd say she wasn't holding it at that point. But yeah,
Cherry
that's why you
like,
gotta add you an extra protective chassis around that. Did the same thing with Black Betty, my laser pistol.
Mm, that's a good idea.
Yeah, you put that around. I did that for the refractory calculator on the laser pistol.
Could you
So
maybe
it gets
rig up a harness for the seatbelt so I can hold large objects like that without clocking Cherry?
it was a rental vehicle.
This
Why are
guy's
we rigging anything in the rental?
he's looking from one person to the next, growing increasingly concerned.
oh, you just got to get you a wrist strap for those kind of things, like your data slabs, your nav comps, and all that.
Cherry, when she sees Daisuke's face, she's just gonna like go, oh shoot, please, please don't say anything to Dad. Just you didn't hear that. Just cover your little like angel brother ears. Just like cover that, okay? Right? Just like you didn't hear that, okay? Like that didn't happen. There was no like blunt force trauma to my head. Like no rolling
Oh, it
vehicles.
was all safe. Those guys weren't even good shots if they did catch up with us.
And they were
Don't
so
shut
far
your mouth.
behind.
Yeah, Daisuke is he was starting to get a very slight grin, but then says very seriously to Cherry, "Of course, sister. I would never." And he holds his pinky out and says, "You owe me one."
Oh my gosh, I hate you so much. But she will pinky promise him, what do you want? You know what? That can be, you tell me later. All right. I owe you.
Mm-hmm.
There, take your blackmail.
Making
Hope you're
pinky
happy.
promises. You gotta write the contract with your orphan Annie Dakota ring, you nerd.
Not all of us spit in our hands to do that. You know, some of us have like basic hygiene, Bo.
Hey, that's a respectable form of contract making.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we just she's gonna put her hand out for her VR headset. Can we just maybe go check on like the AI that is currently sitting with Mom
And Zeke.
and
Pete.
Zeke? Sorry, I forgot Zeke and Pete. Oh my word. Yeah, we should definitely go check on them. Like half our crew.
No, I'm sure they're having a grand old time down there with the
She's going to
orders.
like physically shove Eva towards the door.
Okay,
Yeah,
going.
sure. I can show you all my other project later, maybe.
You have other I'm going.
Shoving. This is me shoving. On this planet, it means the same thing as on every other planet, which is go.
It was nice to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
You know who's still in the room? Bo. and Dice.
Yeah, Daisuke looks at Bo. Says, I don't know if you needed to go too, but I could show you my other project."
I probably gotta head out with them. That is an interesting model of robot you got there.
Oh, well, that's all right. Yeah, maybe later.
I like that model. They're weak under the power cell.
Oh,
Goes
you
right
see,
through
that's the
that plate.
thing. He says, "Well," and then he realized he catches himself, and he's like, "Well, sorry, you said you had to go. Yeah, I'll tell you later."
I'll keep that in mind.
And he sees you out of the room, and he says, "I'm gonna stay up here, and I do need to get a little bit done, but Tell Cherry I'll be down in a few.
Okie dokie.
uh,
I read
oh,
that and
goodness.
it's automatically in Doofenshmirtz's voice too.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's not even a trap.
Yup.
Uh, yes, that man could inspire my GMing in many ways, and I would be very happy.
Oh my
Yep.
word.
Anyway, so um, how has Zeke been holding up in the small talk below?
He's actually been just sampling the hors d'oeuvres and taking notes on them. He's written a pretty significant journal entry about the Wagyu.
Nice. Yeah, Tashi has certainly taken note, and as he's, this last trip by, bringing, making sure everyone's topped off and everything, he goes and glances over Zeke's shoulder. Uh, you journaling this?
Yeah, it's a thing I do sometimes, especially when that first bite of something greets me with an explosion of flavors that just exceeds all of my expectations. I have to take time to really record it.
You
I could show you.
you see the respect in his eyes, and he says, "Yes, please."
What do you say? You cut out there.
Oh, he said, "Yes, please." You
He said,
said I
"Yes,
can
please."
show. Yeah, because
Oh,
you said I can show you, right?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's got about a solid 2 pages. He's got it, how it was presented, what it smelled like, uh, his impression on the first bite, some notes about the flavors of the meat. I'm assuming there were maybe some kind of sauce or like probably gonna talk about that too. Texture, aftertaste. He really went all out, but he also ate a lot of wagyu.
Yeah, he
And at the bottom, it just says like 5 of 5.
nice. Yeah, he takes a step back and then bows towards Zeke. You do me great honor with your commentary.
Zeke doesn't know his due. He bows back.
In his confusion, he found the correct answer. And Tashi stands back up and walks away looking very pleased with himself. um, all right. I think it's about this time that Cherry's compad goes off.
Sweet. I was just about to ask you when that would happen.
Let's see. And yeah, I'm assuming she's going to want to check that now that she's
Of
had
course.
time to catch up on all the backlog of messages. Um, Yeah, the message is actually from an unknown number, and oh wait, no, she has this number.
Okay, phew. I was
Yes.
real concerned for a second there.
I'm like, wait a minute, what am I talking about? Uh, yeah, the message is from Mr. Castor, and it's pretty short and sweet. Just says, Miss Amarina Karahana, please come to Starlight Tower uh, this afternoon at it's a time a couple hours away. Uh, to meet with us regarding your earlier message. We've heard that you arrived and welcome you warmly and yada yada. And then there's some niceties.
All right. Well, it looks like we are on.
Uh, oh, but I didn't get to ask Daisuke about his other projects.
Dice
All right.
Daisuke, yeah.
Well, guess that'll have to wait for another day or never. That's an option too.
Well, we can come back sometime. I mean, I'm not inviting us, but I
And
would
I
love
probably
to.
don't want to put her, encroach on their hospitality.
Mm,
Period. Mom butts in. Oh no, yes, of course you can come back at any time. Captain Eva, you are welcome.
oh, thank you.
Oh, that is awful kind of y'all. We're gonna be so busy, We should probably just. I don't know how much time we're gonna even have, to come back over here. Especially not to make
Cherry
social calls with no nerd living in his parents' house.
Cherry
What's
would have started
Oh,
loudly asking Toshi for to-go boxes for snacks.
what's wrong with living in your parents' house? It's a nice house.
Yeah, it's a nice house and all, but I mean, ain't he grown?
Cherry
I mean, I'm
Cherry will
18. I ain't lived
literally
under my parents' roof and
I
shoot,
I lived
don't know how long.
with my parents until I got aboard the ship.
Well, that's fine for some folks, but I mean, I don't know. He's a guy. He's supposed to be out doing guy stuff.
It's financially savvy to stay where you have a room and an amazing workshop.
yeah, a voice from the other side of the room pipes up. My son contributes to society admirably and fulfills his familial duties as well. I
And
appreciate all of your presence in my home, but I hear you have somewhere else to be.
Eva looks over at Cherry.
so
Yes, we have
I
business.
would love to show you guys my place. Um, I mean, I did still live here. I just also have a studio. There's kind of some like Lohanuda laws about like
Oh yes, that's
getting a permit to move out because we have to conserve space on the moon.
yeah. You could see Cherry's mom kind of dry washing her hands and trying to figure out where to interject into the conversation. Um, yes, that's all well, dear. Maybe another time, but yes, it's our custom to for families to live together as long as they can. That's just not a whole lot of space here, being on a moon and all. But yes, it was very wonderful having you all over. Hope you can come again sometime. And
Cherry would grab a big hunk of Wagyu steak and literally shove it in Bo's mouth before he can say anything else. And then she would
that's an expert move right there.
ask Toshi if he could bring the to-go bags to go. And she would hug her mother and
Yes, of course, Miss Harumi.
say, if you can let Daisuke know that we're going to be over at my recording studio, so we'll just see you guys later. And then she's going to
Yes, of
steer
course.
them back down the hallway past all the achievements on the wall, whatever, for different family members, and just like keep increasing her speed as they get further down the hall
Oh, yeah,
once
now that
they're
was
out of
delicious.
line of sight.
But I wasn't done talking
Great, they're
about your
packing
namby-pamby brother.
Yeah, I'm trying to keep you from, never being welcome on this planet again. So, Also, my brother's great, so you can can it.
Oh, I think I might already got myself kicked off this planet a long time ago.
He
Oh my
is. Your
gosh.
brother is so great.
Okay. Yeah, that was not. I mean, he is. I just wasn't going to start like a conversation about it. Like that was
Just like,
more like a defensive statement, and then like done.
that's not what
Yeah,
I
I
mean
mean,
either.
she doesn't mean it. She's just your sister. You can't badmouth your own kin.
No, I'm the only one allowed to badmouth him, actually. So you can it.
Is this portion of the conversation taking place having already stepped outside?
Yeah,
It
I
would have
guess.
been as close
Okay.
to the door as possible, if not outside.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll say that Cherry's father did not hear the last bit of that conversation.
Once she gets Bo and the rest of the crew getting into the car, Cherry will go back inside to make sure TC3 came, because she knows she was not shoving him for sure.
Yeah.
I think Pete was escorting TC3 anyway.
Yeah, they were saying their goodbyes and taking a little more time with it.
She had wanted to make sure that Daisuke met him, but I think he met him earlier, so that's fine.
Yeah, so by the time she comes back in, he'd actually come down from his room and was you know, saying goodbyes to them, and her whole family is basically paying respects to, Zeke, Sarah, and TC3. Uh, her her father's his expression is softened. The disapproving expression that he was sending most of you out of the door with has receded, and he's making respectful goodbyes to the rest. And in short order, it's everyone but Cherry has exited the home and is heading back to the car.
Cherry will, seeing her dad again and her brother and mom, she'll give a little bow to each of them, and she'll say, I don't know when we're like leaving again, uh, but I'll try to let you know if you want to know.
Harumi, please. Her dad stretches a hand out. Just a moment.
She'll glance towards the door, but take his hand and allow
And
herself to be pulled in for a conversation.
he takes her hand in both of his and says, "Don't worry, I don't blame you for your friend's disrespect. Though I would ask you to educate your crew members in our ways so that perhaps they aren't so ignorant next time they visit, which I hope will be soon.
I hope so too.
But I wish you success in your meeting. And of course, you know our door is always open for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll
And
try and walk through it more often. And I'm sorry that I split as quickly as I did last time.
I thank you. I worry about you. And he shares a brief look with her mom, who seems to kind of shake her head a little bit.
Oh no.
But it seems like he powers through and says, and I'm sorry, dear, but just please consider changing your hair back. It was just so perfect before.
She
It stands out so
winces.
much. It just doesn't seem like the kind of thing to go into a war zone with. But you've heard it all before, and I won't. You don't have to answer me. I just wanted you to know. But
She actually would seem a little taken aback at that because she had never thought that it was a safety concern. It takes a little bit of the edge off of her annoyance, but she, weathers it. She's, as always, I know you love me. It's just, you know, I know you had a wild phase, and maybe pink is what I want to do right now, and it's just hair. It's fine.
wild
Um,
face.
and I can always dye it back or dye it a different color when I eventually want to do that, if ever.
Mm.
So I
Well, just be careful out there.
appreciate it.
Sure, you are learning every day that it's not the same out there as it is here. But
She's doing her best model smile, but she is internally screaming and glances at Daisuke like, you better keep your promise and not mention a word.
he
Yep,
just gives
yeah.
her an innocent and mild expression back, like, I don't know what you're talking about. But her father relents and gives her one last hug and bids her farewell. So does the rest of the family.
All right, sweet. She's gonna give hugs and dodge Daisuke messing with her hair again. You can only take so much of that in one day, and peace out as quickly as possible because everyone else is in the car, and that's terrifying. But not as terrifying as being in this room with her dad and his concern.
Mm. Makes sense. Alrighty, well,
Right? She comes to the car. They're all in the car.
yep, all ready to
Is
go.
Toshi in the car?
Oh yeah, Tashi is in the driver's seat, ready to go.
Sweet.
So he's ready to take you to Starlight Tower if that's where you want to go.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Straight there, straight to the top. Harry's gonna find a seat next to Zeke because he's caused her the least amount of stress today. Um,
When did Pete cause her stress today?
you know, I don't know. He didn't actually. So the seat is between Pete and Zeke. There you go.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. And she's gonna say to Pete, thank you for keeping an eye on TC3 while we were in my parents' house. I needed to make sure that certain people didn't cause any explosions or fistfights or attempts at fistfights, I should say.
Fair. Eva is so violent.
She would look over at Zeke and say, were you and my dad nerding out about food?
Nerding out?
You know, like getting really excited about it.
I guess, yeah. Was that
You know,
excited
he
for
has
him?
like sort of. He gets really like intense and he like talks a lot about what he's passionate about, you know, like some people we know. Um and he has actually like written some books if you like wanted to look any more into his cooking and what did I say something wrong?
I'd read those books.
Oh,
Are they in Japanese,
okay,
though?
cool. I think one of them is, but like I think the others are in common and mandate whatever. And I think that his Japanese one may have been translated.
Interesting. I'll have to check that out. He makes a note to
She smiled.
purchase one of them digitally on Space Bay later.
It is the way.
Maybe they'll tell you more about that Gollum fella.
I think Toshi has like a copy. Gollum? What? Oh, that other book. Yeah, no, I don't think my dad knows about that character. She shivers for a moment. I did not like that character.
Sounds like he's an important fella to know about.
Indeed, he was. Until he wasn't.
Yet another one of the benefits of moving out from your parents' house.
So you can murder people? That's kind of not great.
So you can find out about this Gollum fella. Better prepared than unaware.
What does this have to do with the Wagyu?
I don't know, it
Toshi,
sounds like
did
a
you have
fella who
any
might
more
try
of
to
those
get up
snack
on your
boxes?
Wagyu.
Yes, Urumia. He press. He presses a button and one, like a little panel in the center wall slides open and one slides out, like it's
Sweet.
waiting to be taken. It's got a nice little selection
All
of
right.
non-perishable snacks.
All right. So she would also ask that they get Boba on the way because she needs stress relief. But then after that, straight to Starlight Tower.
Yeah, so he'll make the detour happily. Yeah, and hmm, a couple of you might notice as he he acquires the boba, that no money changes hands. He doesn't even have to. Doesn't seem like he's swiping a card or anything like that either.
They just give away the stuff over here? Well, shoot, Jeeves, get me a drink while you're at it.
Of course, Bo. What would you like?
Oh, it's another one of them frou-frou places. They probably don't got straight whiskey, do they?
No, the boba shop does not serve whiskey.
And it's gonna have them little thingies in it.
You can get it without those little thingies. They're called boba.
Called downright nasty.
Toshi looks. He actually turns in the seat to look at Bo and asks, "Are you sure you want anything here, or are you just asking so you can complain about it?"
Well, I'm just wondering. Can't ever turn down a free drink.
And yet, that's exactly
Toshi,
what you're doing. Well,
get
Well,
get
I don't know.
him
What was that flavor? Oh, pistachio. There we go. I think I
Get
stole
him
no
the-
Zeke's
boba.
one time.
Pistachio no boba it is. And he turns back around and orders that.
Eva also wanted a drink, and it was just her, well, her habit of getting whatever Cherry got, but with less sugar, half the sugar, and no boba.
Cherry actually would have asked with the intention of not just her own self getting boba, but may have forgotten to ask people.
Hmm. I actually kind of figured that we were all getting something here, except for Bo because he hates boba, and Eva's just been banned from the little beads.
He's got to
Yeah,
figure out because he did
joke
like
on
the
them.
sugar. Yeah.
Cherry would, in Japanese, pretty rapidly order for the group. I have no problem saying out loud since pretty much almost everyone here speaks it apparently. She would say, get him the pistachio with the popping boba and get Eva the same thing as me, but less sweet, and ask for a robot special for Pete and TC3. And then for Zeke, she would look at him for a second and then say, get him the chocolate coffee with traditional boba. And oh, ask for those little cute buns.
So yeah, they get all that.
Yeah.
It's all not a problem.
Did we lose Avery?
Yeah, he had to help with the
Temporarily,
baby.
yes.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, everyone is in
Oh, I
short
see.
order sipping on their various drinks.
Yeah, I feel like Pete would look at TC3 with that robot special thing and be like, was this common back in the day? Just kind of not quite believing it.
Yes, some we do still hold to some of the traditions of the mandate, and one of those is considering artificial life forms to be on equal footing with organic life forms. Sentience is sentience, and we treat it as such. What?
I mean, Pete
Sadly,
would say thank you, but I was thinking more of like the drink. This seems kind of like a complicated idea.
Well, on the contrary, it flows quite logically. It takes quite a few ingredients and considerable effort to concoct various drinks for human consumption. The additional effort to also prepare drinks for robotic consumption. It's nothing more because it's nothing more. Unfortunately, much of the modern world has lapsed in their understanding of how life should be respected. Here on Lohinuda, we pride ourselves in holding to some of the old ways, the right ways.
I think Pete would just be like, huh. Not really have anything else to say to that.
That makes sense.
Like Bo grumbles, well, I don't know about all that.
And Tashi, with no hesitation, says back over his shoulder, I rather expected you wouldn't.
Oh, dang. Oh, she's
Cherry
throwing down.
audibly sucks in air through her teeth. Like she can definitely tell that Bo is racking up strikes.
After a brief pause, he'll say, my apologies, Miss Rumi. Allow me to focus on our driving. And he puts up the little transparent barrier between the front seat and the passenger. It's like
She
takes that as him recognizing that he is he's speaking slightly out of turn, and he's going to just prevent himself from doing that anymore.
as soon as it goes up, she would groan and like look over at Bo and say, listen, I'm really not sure what's gotten into you, but like my family and even this shop are being extra nice because you guys are here as visitors. What in the world is prompting you to be such a complete jerk?
Yeah, whole planet bleeding hearts. Except, of course, when it comes to when it's inconvenient to care about somebody. We'll tell them how much they care on Phyllis.
My mom's been to Phyllis. My mom has provided free medical care on Phyllis. So, whatever you think you know about people caring or not caring, you can shove it up your rear and stop talking.
Oh, that's real nice, Joe. They'll provide medical help. Sure, the people didn't want to be ruled, by somebody else. Having ships come up out of the sky and bomb their homes. But, it's real nice that afterwards they brought some Band-Aids and some meal kits and, didn't tell them about that whole equality thing. At least not to Havario. No need to tell them none about how making people practical slaves is a problem.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know I charged by the hour to hear your sob story, but maybe I should start. There aren't any superheroes around here, Bo.
Hmm.
It's not our job to save everybody. We look after ourselves and control what we can control. But in case you didn't notice, this is a moon. We are
Yeah, it's your
limited.
job to play a fake little game. We have little rules about politeness, about how you hold which particular salad fork and how you talk to folks, and who does and doesn't deserve your respect. It's all a nice little facade, but I see right through it and I don't play those games no more.
You're delusional. You don't see anything but what you think you know. And she's going to lean forward and grab his cup out of his hand.
Oh, them's fighting moves.
Bo will dodge.
Hmm. All right. Well, let's see here. Now not this is not like attacking, but it is opposed action here. Danielle, do you want to roll to see if Cherry can still manage to snag the cup, or
She
do you want
was
to just let
sitting and
him?
was holding her own cup. So I feel like it's fair to have me roll for Cherry. That's fine.
Well, I was gonna say, or do you think she would just let it go if he tries to, if he makes an effort to keep a hold on it? Like, is she gonna try to
Um,
wrench it out of his grip, even if he's trying to, making an effort to
mm,
keep it, or?
no,
Oh, I'm saying he
if
would
he
move
dodges,
entirely, like to not let her get her hands on it.
Right.
so if he dodges, then she's not gonna try to like wrench it out of his hands or something, but she'll have more to say.
Okay.
And at that, he'll say, "Hey, thanks for proving my point for me. You understand it deep down, too. Somebody bothers you, and you decide they ain't worth your respect no more."
Wait, I'm sorry, did he dodge? Did we already do that? Or like were you having him roll for it or having me roll
Oh,
for it? I thought
Well,
there was
no,
a question of both of us rolling for
yeah,
it
I thought
or
you were
one
saying
of
we
us.
weren't.
oh no, I was. My question was like, if he's going to resist the motion is like, are you going to push it to the point, like, do you want to roll to contest it, or are you just going to let it go?
Oh no, I like feel like there should be a roll for it for sure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was
Oh, yeah.
just
Well
And
thinking,
I
then.
think that's his
I
point.
thought the question was, does one person have to roll for it or do both people?
Oh, okay. Yeah. No. I think my gut feeling is that this would be like a contested. Um. But actually, it would be like a punch sort of roll or something. I think that feels like the closest, like the most similar sort of mechanic that is already established, like where you're basically trying to disarm somebody, more or less, just
I
just
mean,
for
you
that
could just
quick
go for
kind
a
of snap
straight
action.
attribute, but
I mean, it's
that's
um
fine. I'm just saying,
like
I'm just
contested.
offering options.
Yeah, I think like a contested punch, basically, um, with your
So
choice of
do
like.
I roll something?
Yeah. So just do punch. It doesn't have to be. It's not, we're not gonna do attack rolls or whatever. Just do skill checks. A contested punch of like you know. I feel like dexterity makes sense.
Sure.
Okay, and both of us? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Bo manages to avoid the grab that she makes for his
Okay.
cup.
And that was Bo's answer regardless, succeed or fail.
Yeah.
That his response to her trying to grab his cup. Yeah.
Yeah. she would say, "What I know is that's a gift. Like this ride is a gift, and you're being rude, and you're not acting like a friend or even a good coworker. So maybe try doing that at the bare minimum."
I had plenty of coworkers before. None of them asked me to lie about who I was or who they were. They was all fine with it working jobs like this. In fact, in this
Okay.
line of work, it's probably best if you can recognize the truth of humanity. Stop trying to live by those false little games, manners and etiquette and polite conversation.
Mm. Is now the risk of stirring up more
Right.
trouble, is Eva or anybody else
I
wanting to
think
get a
so.
word in edgewise?
I was trying not to jump straight in, and will yield to anyone else that has something to say. But if not, then Eva does have some things to say.
I guess Pete might have a thought having been a mercenary, but my issue is I'm not 100% sure of Bo's argument. Like, is he basically saying the etiquette is deception and is unnecessary or something?
Yeah, he's saying it's all lies. That
That basically it's, being asked to, be fake polite and,
Just making sure I
pretend like
wasn't
he's yeah.
off.
yeah, especially while they're extolling the virtues of like, oh well, we respect everybody here, and we're the most open-minded. When they're also like one of the imperial powers benefiting from the subjugation of a whole other planet.
Yeah.
They don't subjugate any other planets.
Yeah, but they're all cool with Havario doing it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that he's interpreting it as, well, Lohainu didn't do anything about Harvario subjugating Phyllis, and they also are continuing to deal with Harvario, and have even joined in this interstellar compact with them,
Hmm.
and haven't drawn a line in the sand about their treatment towards Phyllis. So
Yeah, and I think
I-
also having been boots on the ground on Tabuk, he kind of heard, mutters of like, oh, well, even though Luhain Uda was part of the CIS, they couldn't be bothered either way. What happened to Tabuk?
to Urala, you mean?
Or to Urala,
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Okay, so I think Pete would have a statement to make then, but more like hands out between them kind of a thing, being like, she's right that you are being rude, but also looking at Cherry and saying he is also right that sometimes someone polite is just waiting for the opportunity to stab you. You learn suspicion as a mercenary.
But that's not the
She's
case here. This is Cherry's family. We have to be friendly and respectful to them.
Like I said, he is being rude.
Bo, you have to. I I didn't know that you came from Phyllis, and that sucks. I mean, not that you came from Phyllis, but what happened to Phyllis, it sucks. Um, Phyllis is pretty cool. You know they have. Anyways, so, but family didn't do any of that, and like, if someone treated me mean, you would be upset with them, right? Wait, right?
Bo sits sulkily for a little bit, mulling that over.
Not supposed to take that long.
Oh, you forgot to
Say,
start
I'll
your
admit
chess timer, Eva.
Y'all's different than other crews I've had, but in the end, crew's crew. I worked with folks who insulted my mother and father and all manner of kinsfolk, and I gave as good as I got there.
Our ship works different. We don't insult each other, and we don't, well, more than you already are. And we try not to make things worse for them with their family.
I'll scoff at that and say, oh, no insulting each other. That's why I get treated to so many jokes about being a dumb stump redneck.
I'm sorry.
You call me a fruit basket. You literally can't even bother to get my name right. Are you saying you can dish it out, but you can't dish it in?
I'm saying it's all a game.
Oh my goodness. She's gonna knock on the little partition between them and Toshi. And just really rapidly, she's Toshi, このバカを運転してください船に乗ります and then sit down. Well, she'll actually, once the car stops, she's gonna get out and go sit in the front seat with Toshi.
Okay. All right. That is not where I thought that was going. But yeah, she can. He'll let her sit in the front seat and keep the partition up. He'll lean over and ask quietly, obviously inaudible to those in the other seating area. Is everything all right, Miss Horomi?
I'm not sure, but some people struggle with different things, I guess. But that doesn't need to be who Susan Starlight meets.
Very well.
Back in the back, Eva leans forward. I'm sorry I didn't see how smart you are, Bo. It's just that, like, almost everyone, is not as smart as me, and so, that came out wrong. But it's right.
It hurts as well, but it's confusion.
Oh, it don't bother me none. I play dumb. That saved my life on more than one occasion. Especially when you're working with crew you don't know.
I could maybe see that. Maybe I could have learned that trick sometime, like, when I was young. But you've been really helpful with some of the projects that we've had to do.
Oh, I ain't fishing for compliments. I'm just
Too bad.
saying how the world is.
It might be how the world is. I've only read books about it. Starting to see maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did. But that doesn't matter because we still have to rely on each other. We still float around, fly hopefully. We fly around in a little tin box that me and Pete put together with our bare hands and some tools. like, and she goes over a couple of tools and then reels herself back in. And we all need to be able to trust each other and know that we can sleep tight so that when the alarms blare and you see almond in your vision, that you know that someone's gonna take care of it. Sorry, I woke up seeing almond. I should have gotten an almond boba without the boba. I
Ava, sorry, Eva's gonna get a message on her compad
Mhm.
from Cherry, and it's gonna say, "I'm sorry I didn't run this by you before I said something to Toshi, but we're headed back to the ship. Period. I really don't trust Bo to be a part of this meeting. I don't know if he can be trusted to not get us all in hot water and ruin this for Sarah and for us and for TC3. And I'm just not willing to take my risk with him.
I don't
There's
think
too much writing on the line."
I don't think Eva's reading it right now.
Okay.
She has one last thing she wants to say to Bo first.
That's fine. That's just the message waiting on her compad. So
Okay. She kind of hesitates. I think you should apologize. And I know maybe she's not going to apologize back. And I don't know if she has anything to apologize for. But you did say some things that upset her. And you should apologize for that. Even if you believe the things that you said, you still upset her. Please, Bo.
And I'll think about it. How much an apology if you don't mean it?
Well, you do have to mean the apology. You can still believe what you believe. You're only apologizing for being mean to her, not for what you believe. You can be different.
I'm trying to decide. Oh man. Oh,
Yes,
decisions,
Jim.
decisions.
Yeah, I think also. I feel like a distinction without a difference to me, but I guess I'll give it a try since you want me to.
Well, it's like maybe I don't think people from Phyllis know much about mechanical things, and like I wouldn't apologize for believing that, but I do need to apologize for assuming that you were the same and for treating you like that, because that was that was how I treated you, not just what I think.
Yeah, I think Sarah Lloyd would pipe in just briefly,
Mhm.
and she would say, you know, in order to be honest, you don't have to tell everyone everything that you think. There's no deception in keeping your mouth shut sometimes.
I guess I do like poking the bear here, and I went far. I just hate their highfalutin, prissy society that talks, about equality and liberty and how enlightened they are, while they're still supporting what's happening on Phyllis. If not outright, then at least by their silence. And all the little games they make you play here.
Isn't that just survival, though? When you're the little bunny, you don't go uh, yelling at the lion that's chasing the other bunny.
Yeah, I played that game for a good little stint here. But getting sick of it's why I left. And I think I ain't no little bunny no more.
But Lohenu dies. They don't have military might. They can't challenge Rivario. What happens if Rivario gets offended by tariffs and uh, broken negotiations and contracts and decides to take over Lohenu?
They got levers that they can pull. And I guess to head scratch on this one. You think if I went in there and I had one of them their VIs or AIs in my power, they wouldn't do everything they could to stop me? That they wouldn't fight and die even if they knew it was hopeless? Because that's the right thing to do?
No, I don't understand what you're saying. What do you mean?
I'm saying they know what's right. And they could make the choice to do it, even if it's a losing fight.
But that's
If they
suicide.
don't,
Why would anyone do that?
this thing's worth dying for.
Is it worth killing everyone you know for? It's not like it's just one person that'll get punished for a decision.
I might be the wrong person to ask about that. Most everybody I know is dead.
Would you die for me?
Heck, just murdered a bunch of people for you.
That's not the same, though. You killed other people.
If they'd shot me and I'd bled out my life's blood on the side of that highway, I would have been all right with it.
Well, aw, thanks, Bo. I don't want you to do that. I just, that isn't what I expected you to say.
Leave for me, Bo. Leave for me, Bo.
I just, I don't know. I wasn't good at social politics and circles and things.
And you understand it. People making made up rules to a made up game and telling you that you're wrong when you break rules that you didn't even know existed. They're changing the rules to suit how their whims are.
But isn't that what you're talking about too? Your rule to just say what you mean is a rule you made up.
Yeah, it means I'm playing the same game as everybody else.
No, it means you're playing your game.
If the game is making up your own rules and holding other people to them, then maybe I'm doing a great job.
You're only holding people to your rules. You're not playing by the most popular game.
Yeah, because that ain't the rules. Rules. Make
The
your
rule
own game
is
and play by it.
to fit in.
Make everybody else, as many people go along as you can. Maybe someday when I'm the big bag, Oyabon, this sector, they'll all be playing my game.
Please just apologize to Cherry.
I guess I can do that.
And you have to mean it.
Oh. Now you're making it difficult. I'll put on my best poker face. Is that a fair enough compromise?
Okay.
And while you're at it, Bo, maybe stop trying to have such a death wish. It's hard to survive when you're trying to die.
No, death wished for me a long time ago, and I've been denying it the pleasure ever since.
No,
That's still not normal.
I don't want you to die either.
Oh,
Hear
I'm
an
never
audible
gonna die,
smack
Eva.
of palm against forehead from the other end of the seat.
Yeah. I'm gonna live to be 250, old and with a beard that comes down to my ankles.
Ew.
Mm.
I mean, if you like that.
Oh, that's what all the old coots do.
Seems like a safety risk.
I'm gonna live to be an old coot.
Out of character, I think that's Ethan's goal in every game.
Just slightly different variations on old coot. Are the end goal. Yeah, TC3 I think would pipe in and say, Bo, that sounds like an admirable goal for a human. And quite an impressive feat by any modern measure.
No, says the robot that lived to be what? How old are you now?
I plead the fifth.
Well, you're pre-scream, and if I can remember my education books, that gotta make you at least 400 something years old, right?
Yes, and my apologies, I forget that some things haven't survived the ravages of time.
That they have not.
Oh, I got a message. Eva reads the message now. Hmm. Hmm. Eva looks over at Bo, then over at Pete.
Pete will raise an eyebrow.
Bo, would you mind staying at the ship when we go talk to the AI?
You worried something's gonna happen to it? I think we're parked in a safe enough neighborhood.
No, I think the ship is safe. But we can't risk you offending these AI here. It would cut into our profits and maybe be very dangerous. Unless you think that you can play the game, play their game.
I see what you meant. I guess I'll stay at the ship.
I'm sorry.
I understand. You gotta do what's best for the crew.
Including you. More money means better guns.
Well, that's hard to turn down.
Good. Okay. Thank you, Bo. And Eva will text back a quick okay.
Sorry, I was laughing at Avery's message.
I think we're at a pretty good stopping point, unless anybody had any last notes.
No.
I appreciate Avery's favorite.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. We'll wrap up here. Next session, we'll resume with dropping
Oh,
Bo
I was gonna
off.
say, for your prep and for your love of cliffhangers, Bo will sit silently, kind of sulking, looking for a while. Then he'll start flipping through his old contacts on his compad, texting old Yakuza buddy, and say, "I'm free for a bit. You still working?"
Oh no.
All right. So I will be messaging you and needing some responses for next session. Establish some backstory for Bo there. All right. Yeah, that's a good little cliffhanger. All right, let's get on to favorites right after I dish out an experience point each.
Ooh, level.
Let's see. That being said, you guys are on your ways in. Let's see. It's level 6.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're not thinking of holding us back, are you?
Of course.
No, I
We're
would
not in the
never.
middle of a
Everybody
dungeon. We're not in the middle of combat.
pauses.
I would
We
never
say-
do something so heinous. What kind of monster do you take me for? But
We
go
cancel
on.
our meeting because we all need an 8-hour nap.
You're suddenly all struck with intense exhaustion.
Hey, we just
Wait,
had
oh,
some
we can't.
character building moments here. We deserve to hear the dings over our heads.
Ding!
You've got
Ding, ding, ding,
trauma.
ding.
Basically.
Level up.
Woohoo!
yeah, so you guys can level up and spend skill points and all. And if, as usual, you would put your little level up reports in the character development channel, that would be appreciated. Oh, excuse me. Meanwhile, we shall hop on over to the favorites and start those done. Since Avery went ahead and messaged his, we'll fill his in for him. Avery's favorite was, and I quote, where did he put it? Right here. When the bestest older brother got audibly and discreetly hit on.
Younger brother, but close enough. At least I thought so. Was it? Did I get that relationship wrong?
Yeah.
You did not.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it really came out.
Yeah, he definitely. He's wise for his age. He's not a lot younger. He's not a lot younger either.
Okay, good.
I
Because
think he's
that
only
also
supposed to
poses
be
some
like,
problems.
Yes, minimal age gap is what we're looking at here.
I think he's only 2 years younger than Cherry, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I'll have to check the notes. And or revise them appropriately.
Mhm.
But yeah, he's not much younger.
He's legal, if that's what you're asking.
And he's that was always implied. We don't do minors in this game.
Or out of game.
You have something against coal miners?
And by do minors, I meant we do not have characters who are minors in this game.
No.
Anyway. Danielle, you were up first in the fave lineup.
Fave lineup is getting. This is my first time getting to have a character actually visit their home planet. So that's really been fun. So home visit pre-screaming match.
Home visit re.
You could just put pre-trauma. There you go. Pre-trauma dump.
Be like so. I think you have one about. Yeah. A good time was being had by all. Dex.
Ethan enabled this. So credit goes to Ethan for Eva being able to have a captainly moment that really ties into her background. She that early write up for her was kind of that desperate wanting to have friends and fit in, and it felt great that she was able to have that conversation with a crew member, and that even begrudgingly, which I don't think it should have gone any other way, even begrudgingly, he agreed that her take on it may have some validity in wanting the crew to be on good terms and tight knit and family. So giving her that captainly moment, thank you, Ethan.
Mm-hmm. Very good one. Yeah, and well, I guess I'll get to that in a minute. Ethan.
Zeke's Wagyu steak write up. That was wonderful.
Oh, it was.
That was a good one. Oh, let's see. That
And
brings
I
me
guess
to-
Bo getting to work out some of his angst.
Yes, working it out. That's what he's doing.
Mhm. Well, expressing it, which is more than he's ever done.
True, it's the closest he's ever come to working it out. It's the
Carrie will
first
send
step.
him his bill later.
Yeah, shockingly, her rate as a therapist is unusually high, um, especially for being not a professional. All right, Robert.
Bills will find their way to the target board.
I was trying to decide. There were quite a few good moments tonight, and I kind of liked all the out of context things that if you just heard that one piece by itself was just wrong because it just kept happening tonight. But I also liked this scene with Cherry's brother and the nerd crew.
The nerd.
Okay, yeah, and I didn't quite process your first one.
Oh, just all the out of context.
Yeah, out of context statements.
Yeah. There
All
were
the
just
phrasing
so
moments.
many. Yeah, there were so many phrasing moments that were just wrong.
No, no. Well, fortunately, my pure little cherubic mind missed most of them.
Where have you been keeping that?
I dusted off.
He
on a
puts it
special
away in a
occasions.
safe place when he sets up these murder encounters.
Yep.
I haven't tried to murder you guys in like at least
Three
3
sessions.
sessions.
Yeah, he's been
Ben, cry me a
stockpiling them up.
river.
All those mooks just roll over to when we actually hit the encounter. They'll say, man, they dodged the warbots on the highway. Well, I'm just going to have to add them to the throne room. This AI overlord.
Just pay them forward. All it is, just pay it forward, baby. Oh man. Alrighty. Well, let's see. That brings it back to me. Hmm. Yeah, I think one of them is I don't know how to. The phrase that comes to mind is Eva whisper shout crushing on Daisuke.
Stage
that was
whisper crushing.
Stage Whisper. Yeah, that's a good good description for it. And that was a great addition to that scene.
Capped
Um,
with a 1.
yes. Um, yeah, there were a lot of things I definitely did enjoy fleshing out some of Cherry's background and the throwing in some tidbits about Loe Nuda in the process. Um, as much as it did end up taking over a lot of the session, I really did enjoy um uh I guess maybe just his Bo's contrary behavior. That's how maybe I would characterize it, because that's kind of how it, he despite his multiple mental saves, uh he it, it kind of left me wondering, was that just, him resisting the urge to pull out a gun and start blasting robots, or like, uh, you know, probably just to have said something more, even even more direct or insulting. But it, I felt like it was interesting. It definitely spiced up the session, and it provided a lot of contrast and, uh, well, gave us an antagonist for the scene. um, at least as far as the perspectives of most of the characters, and sparked a good bit of interesting discussion that just expanded on a lot of character insight, a lot of character perspectives, and I think it was cool. And I definitely thought he was getting booted out. Like I thought Cherry was like, knock knock, yo Tashi, pull over and boot this schmuck out on the sidewalk. He can walk the rest of the way. But she exercised some restraint. Um, yeah, that was neat. Alrighty, well, I think that's everything. Ooh, it's already 11:45, so we are ready to wrap it and call it a session.
Let me post the faves. Does anybody else want to roll the hit points before I
Oh, okay.
Wrap
Twist
that
my
up
arm, why
and give it
don't
to a
you?
child on Christmas, because we're done.
I have one more than Bo.
You
That's a
just
pretty
click hit point.
solid roll.
Yep.
Make sure your
Yeah,
level
the
is at
HP.
6 first.
Oh yeah, I have
Oh,
your
I
level.
That's true.
I didn't do that. Ben, can you delete that?
I sure can. Pew! Pew, 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 pew.
Unnecessary.
Needs more pew.
It was quite a few hit points. It took a few pews to pew it down.
What's our XP at, guys? 27 or
27, yep.
okay.
Should be 27 out of 39 at level 6.
Okay. All right. Hit points. Do I need to click the edit button first or no?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Yay.
All right, that's
That's not
considerably
bad
better.
at all.
Yeah. That is one more hit point than Eva now.
It was better than 18, which is what I got before I updated my entire thing. So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, got a pretty big boost from 17 to 25.
yay.
Alright,
Oh,
that is the 4 of us, right? Yeah, okay.
mm. Yep. Avery can do his when he gets the chance.
Mm-hmm. Alright, and I'll go ahead and end the stream.